She mocked my proposal plan, laughing with friends. 2 days later, she was begging at my door. I, 29 meters, have been dating Patricia, 27F, for 3 years. Yesterday changed everything I thought I knew about our relation, and I'm still processing what happened. I need to get this off my chest. For context, we met through mutual friends at a housewarming party, moved in together last year, and everything seemed perfect. She'd been dropping hints about marriage for months, showing me ring photos on Instagram, talking about wedding venue. I was actually planning to propose next month. Yesterday morning, I was at Local Beans, our usual coffee spot. I was in the back corner with my laptop, wearing my earbuds, but not playing anything, just trying to focus on some work. That's when I heard familiar laughter. Patricia was there with her friends, Gladys and Mary. They sat at the table right behind me, didn't notice me because of the tall booth divider. At first, I was just going to say hi, but then I heard my name. Patricia was talking about me, and something in her tone made me stay quiet. "So you're really going through with it?" Gladys asked, trying to keep her voice down but failing miserably. Patricia's laugh was different than I'd ever heard before, cold, almost cruel. "Of course, Brent's so predictable. He's been looking at rings online. I saw his browser history. God, he's such a fool." "But 3 years?" Mary sounded uncertain. "That's a long time to fake it." "Please," Patricia scoffed. "The apartment's in his name. I've barely paid for anything, and Jason's place is twice as nice. You should see his car." My hands were shaking, but I kept perfectly still. Jason, her work friend, who'd been showing up in her Instagram stories lately. "What if Brent doesn't propose when you expect?" Gladys asked. "Oh, he will. I've got him wrapped around my finger. And when he does," Patricia lowered her voice, but I could still hear her clearly, "I'm going to let him do it in front of everyone. Get down on one knee, make his little speech. Then I'll laugh in his face and tell him what a pathetic loser he is. Jason's already got our Cabo trip booked for the next day." They all giggled, and I heard ice cubes clinking in glasses. "You're so bad," Mary squealed. "What about all his friends? Your shared friends? They'll get over it. Most of them are his friends anyway, and I've got better options with Jason's crowd. Better parties, better connections. Brent's nice and all, but he's just basic. Did you know he still uses a Timex watch?" In 2025, I sat there, letting the rage build slowly, controlling my breathing. 3 years, 3 fucking years of my life, and she'd been playing me the whole time. "When's D-Day?" Gladys asked. "He always does big things at Giovanni's, that Italian place he thinks is fancy." More laughter. "I give him 2 weeks max. I've been sending him photos of that princess cut ring from Somerset Jewelers all week." They talked more about Jason, about their secret dates, about how Patricia had been stashing away money from our joint account. Everything she said made me grip my phone tighter, but I didn't move. I just kept recording. Finally, they left. I watched through the window as they got into Patricia's car, still laughing. She had no idea I'd heard everything. No idea that I'd recorded her entire confession on my phone. I drove home in a daze, but my mind was already working on what to do next. The apartment lease, our shared accounts, all the evidence I'd need. The rage had turned into something cold and focused. When Patricia came home that eve, I acted completely, asked about her day, listened to her lies about lunch with the girls. She kissed me and said she was thinking about Giovanni's for our anniversary next week. "Great idea, babe," I said, smiling. "I've been thinking we should do something special." She beamed, probably thinking her plan was working perfectly. If she only knew what I had planned for her instead. "I'll post updates as things develop. Right now, I need to make some calls and set a few things in motion. The next few days are going to be interesting." Update 1. Quick recap. Overheard my GF Patricia, 27, at a cafe telling her friend she was planning to humiliate me during my proposal, and that she's been seeing some guy Jason from her office. Well, buckle up because the last week has been absolutely insane. After that day at the cafe, I went into full detective. I know it sounds dramatic, but I needed solid proof before making any moves. The first thing I did was create a fake Instagram account and started following Patricia's friends, Gladys and Mary. These idiots post everything. Within 2 days, I had dozens of screenshots of them at different bars and restaurants with Patricia and Jason. The best part? In several photos, you can clearly see them making out while Patricia's wearing the promise ring I gave her last Christmas. But here's where it gets better. Remember how Patricia always works late on Thursdays? Well, I decided to grab dinner at that small Thai place near her office. Guess who I saw sharing pad Thai and playing footsie under the table? Yep. Patricia and Jason. Looking very much not like co-work. I wasn't going to do anything stupid. I just sat at the bar, ordered a beer, and recorded a few clips on my phone. The funny part is how they were so caught up in their little world, they didn't even notice me. Patricia was literally wiping sauce off his chin while wearing my hoodie. The audacity of this woman. The next day, I ran into Gladys at the grocery. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. I just smiled and asked her how the cafe meetup was last week. She started stammering about how she had to go, but I kept her there by asking innocent questions about Patricia. "Oh, how's she doing with that big project at work? Must be stressful with all those late meetings." Gladys was sweating bullets. I decided to really twist the knife. I pulled out my phone and showed her the engagement ring I'd been planning to propose with. It was just a photo from Google. Her face went through about 5 different emotions in 3 seconds. She immediately called Patricia after leaving the store. I know because Patricia called me 5 minutes later, being suspiciously sweet and asking about dinner plans for the next few weeks. My friend Jacob helped me set up the next phase. He works at the same company as Patricia and Jason, but in a different department. Through him, I learned that Jason isn't just some random guy. He's actually in the middle of a divorce, which Patricia had no clue about. He's been feeding her lines about leaving his wife for months. I've been playing it cool, acting extra loving, and dropping hints about our future. Patricia's been eating it up, probably thinking her plan is working perfectly. Yesterday, she even left her phone unlocked while taking a shower. I didn't need to snoo. Her messages with Gladys were right there on the screen. He's totally going to propose soon. Everything's perfect. Jason says we can go public right after I dump Brent. Here's the best part. I've booked a table at that fancy steakhouse downtown for next Saturday. Patricia thinks it's for a proposal. Her friends all RSVP'd to come celebrate with us after. Even Jason's planning to be at the bar, coincidentally, to watch the show. Little do they know, I've got a whole different kind of show planned. I've already lined up a new apartment. My stuff's been slowly disappearing from our place. Nothing obvious, just things she wouldn't immediately notice. The ring box I'm bringing to dinner, it's got printouts of all their photos and messages, plus a special note just for her. The hardest part has been acting normal. Every time she kisses me or talks about our future, I have to resist the urge to call her out right there. But watching her dig herself deeper, planning my humiliation while I'm planning something much bigger, it's almost poetic. My hands are shaking just writing this, but not from sadness, from anticipation. Saturday can't come fast and I've got everything documented, witnesses lined up, and an exit strategy ready. Patricia thinks she's about to star in her own little romance movie, but she has no idea she's actually in a tragedy of her own making. I'll update again after Saturday, and trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. Edit. Thank you all for the support. And to those asking, yes, I've got all the evidence backed up in multiple places. I'm not leaving anything to chance. Edit 2. A lot of you are asking about Jason's wife. Don't worry, she's gonna get all the evidence too. I'm not the only one who deserves to know the truth. Update 2. Everything went down last night, and I'm still processing it all. Thanks for the support from my previous posts. You guys helped me stay focused when I needed it most. I made the reservation at Bella Rosa for 7:30 p.m. It's not some fancy 5-star place, but it's the nicest Italian restaurant in our area, and Patricia had been dropping hints about it for months. I knew her friends, Gladys and Mary, would be there. They'd been texting her all day about the special night. Little did they know, I wore that blue suit Patricia always said it made me look handsome, picked her up at 7, and she was practically glowing. She kept checking her phone during the drive, probably texting updates to her friends and Jason. I just kept smiling, remembering how she'd laughed about her plan to humiliate me. The restaurant was busy, perfect. Her friends were already there, phones ready to capture the moment. I spotted Jacob sitting at the bar, right where we planned. Patricia was getting fidgety by dessert, probably wondering when I'd get down on one knee. That's when I did something she didn't expect. I stood up, but instead of reaching for my pocket, I picked up my wine glass. "I'd like to make a toast," I said, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Patricia's face lit up. Gladys already had her phone out. "To Patricia," I started, "who's been sharing my life for 3 years." She was beaming. "Who's been sharing her life with Jason from accounting for the last 8 months? The smile froze on her face. I pulled out my phone and played the recording from the cafe. Her voice filled our corner of the restaurant. "I'll brutally dump him after he proposes. Jason and I already have plans for a weekend getaway to celebrate." The color drained from her face. Gladys and Mary sat there with their mouths open. "What's funny," I continued, keeping my voice steady, "is that Jason never told you he's married, did he?" That's when Patricia lost it. She jumped up, knocking over her wine glass. "You fucking asshole," she screamed. "You set me up." The restaurant went dead quiet. "No, Patricia. You set yourself up. I just decided not to be your punching bag." I turned to Gladys and Mary. "Did you know she was planning to humiliate me? Or were you just happy to play along?" Mary started crying. Gladys tried to stand up for Patricia. "You don't understand." "Oh, I understand perfectly." I cut her off. "Check your phones. I just sent you both some interesting screenshots of Patricia's conversations with Jason, specifically the ones where she brags about playing both of us." Patricia lunged for my phone, but Jacob was already there stepping between us. "Don't," he said quietly. That's when she really lost it. "You ruined everything," she screamed, mascara running down her face. "I had it all planned. Who the fuck do you think you are?" The manager came over. Patricia was still screaming about how I'd betrayed her. Ironic, right? Jacob helped me handle the bill while she was escorted out, still yelling. Gladys followed her, but Mary stayed behind. "I didn't know," Mary said, looking sick. "She told us you were controlling, that she needed a way out." She showed me her phone. Patricia had been spinning lies for months, painting herself as the victim. I walked out to find Patricia sitting on the curb sobbing into her phone, probably calling Jason. Good luck with that. His wife found out last week. Gladys was trying to comfort her, but backed off when she saw me. "How could you do this to me?" Patricia whimpered. The rage was gone, replaced by something pathetic. "I loved you." "No," I said. "You loved what I could give you. There's a difference." I got in my car and drove away. She kept calling and texting all night, switching between threats and begging. I blocked her number. This morning, my phone exploded with messages. Apparently, Patricia showed up at Jason's house at midnight causing a scene. His wife called the cops. Now Patricia's all over our friend group's group chats trying to spin the story her way, but the screenshots and recording are already out there. No one's buying her version anymore. I should feel bad about how public it all got. But you know what? After hearing her laugh about planning to humiliate me in front of everyone, this feels like karma. Jacob's taking me out for drinks tonight, said I need to decompress after all this. He's right. My hands are still shaking when I think about it. Not from sadness though. For the first time in months, I feel like I can breathe again. Edit, someone asked in the comments. Yes. I have her stuff from my apartment boxed up. No. I'm not dealing with her directly. Her sister's coming to pick it up tomorrow. Edit, someone asked in the comments. Yes. I have her stuff from my apartment boxed up. No. I'm not dealing with her directly. Her sister's coming to pick it up tomorrow. Edit, 2. Thanks for all the support. And no, I'm not interested in your sister/cousin/friend who would never do something like this. I need some time to myself. Finally, update. It's been 2 months since the restaurant incident, and holy shit, you guys won't believe how things have unfolded. I've been getting tons of DMs asking for an update. So here it is. Remember how Patricia was crying and begging outside my apartment? That was just the beginning. The next morning, I woke up to 47 missed calls and a flood of text messages. She'd spent the entire night alternating between threatening me and begging for forgiveness. Classic. But here's where it gets interesting. Remember Jason? Her side piece? Turns out his wife works at the same company, just in a different department. Someone, definitely not me, sent their entire text history to her work. The fallout was nuclear. Jason got fired because he was Patricia's supervisor, and workplace relationships with subordinates were strictly against company policy. Patricia got axed too, but not before having a complete meltdown in the office. My buddy Jacob, who works in their building, told me she literally flipped a desk and started screaming about how I ruined her life. Security had to escort her out while she was yelling that she'd make me pay. Real classy Patricia. But karma wasn't done with her yet. Remember those screenshots I collected? The ones where she bragged to Gladys and Mary about playing me for a fool and planning to humiliate me? Well, they somehow made their way to our entire friend circle's group chat. Not saying it was me, but, hey, my finger might have slipped. The best part? Her friends turned on her hard. Mary actually came to my place to apologize, saying she had no idea how deep Patricia's manipulation. Apparently, Patricia had been spreading lies about me for months, telling everyone I was controlling and borderline abusive. The screenshots proved otherwise, showing her bragging about how she could make that idiot buy me anything and how she was only with him for his money. Joke's on her. I'm not even rich. Patricia tried damage control, but it backfired spectacular. She showed up at our favorite bar where everyone hangs out trying to tell her side. But Gladys, who'd been her best friend for years, just stood up and said, "You're pathetic," and we all see it now. Patricia threw her drink at her, got banned from the bar, and ended up crying in the parking lot while everyone watched. Yeah, not her finest moment. The apartment situation is what really got her though. We lived separately, but she'd been bragging to everyone about moving in with me after the proposal. She'd already given notice at her place, expecting to move in with me. Now she's crashing on her cousin's couch because no one else will take her in, and with no job, she can't afford a new place. Last week, she showed up at my job site causing a scene, started screaming about how I owed her for 3 years of her life. My crew just stood there filming while she had her meltdown. That video's gotten quite a few views on our local Facebook. Not that I care, but it's kinda satisfying. But here's the real kicker. Remember the ring she thought she was getting? I took that money and booked a solo trip instead. Posted some pics at this amazing beach place. Patricia lost it when she saw them. Sent me this long paragraph about how that should have been our vacation money. Oh, and speaking of photos, met someone, Ramona. She's nothing like Patricia, actually has her own life, own career, doesn't play games. We've been seeing each other for a few weeks now. She saw Patricia's latest social media rant about me. Yes, she's still posting. And just laughed saying, sounds like someone needs a hobby besides stalking their ex. Patricia found out about Ramona through Instagram and went nuclear, started messaging Ramona with warnings about me. Ramona just sent back that video of Patricia's parking lot meltdown and blocked her. God, I love this woman. The cherry on top? Patricia's parents, who always treated me like family, called me last week. They apologized for their daughter's behavior and said they raised her within this. Her mom was crying saying she's so ashamed. Must have been humiliating. Everyone in their church group seen the videos by now. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Patricia's jobless, friendless, and apparently moving back in with her parents' neck. Her reputation's shot, and she did it all to herself. Meanwhile, I'm doing better than ever. Karma's a bitch, but not as much as Patricia. Edit, thanks for all the awards and messages. To answer some common questions, yes, I'm still with Ramona. Things are going great. No. I haven't heard from Jason's wife, but apparently she took him for everything in the divorce. And, yes, Patricia's still trying to contact me through fake accounts, but at this point, it's just sad. Edit 2. Stop asking for the meltdown videos. I'm not sharing them. This isn't about public humiliation, even if she deserves it. TLDR, ex tried to play me, ended up playing herself, lost her job, friends, and dignity. I found someone better and couldn't be happier.